Okay, so today I thought I would take a little bit of time to talk to you about documentation. Yes, boring documentation. So this is the stuff that you need to carry with you when you're travelling abroad, France, Germany, Belgium, Holland, etc. All the stuff that you need to think about when you're planning a trip that you need to keep in a nice little packet and keep on your person at all times. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the list. So number one on the list is passport. Obviously make sure you have your passport with you and on your person. The other thing is to make sure that your expiry date on your passport is not less than 6 months at the date of travel. That's really important. If it is, apply for a replacement or apply for a renewal straight away. It can take anything up to 10 weeks to get a passport. So you really do need to think about that, plan it, check the date, make sure that everything's fine and hunky-dory. Right, the next thing that you must have on your person in the event of being stopped is your registration document. The reason for that is that the police will want to check that your bike is a UK registered bike. They won't want to see a photocopy of this, they'll want to see the original, so make sure you carry it with you. Following on from that, your insurance certificate. Again, I would say make sure that you carry a good clean PDF copy of this, not just a photostat copy. Don't think that you can get away with having a copy on your phone. They'll want to see a hard copy document, so just carry it with you alongside your registration document. Make sure it's in date. The other thing I would say about insurance is make sure you check the small print and just ensure that yours isn't one of those policies where riding overseas restricts you to 125cc max. A lot of holiday insurance policies will do that, but equally a lot of motorcycle policies will do that as well. So it's worth taking the time to just read the small print on your insurance policy and just make sure that even though you've got a full bike license, that you're okay to be riding anything more than a 125cc once you get over the water. And of course, following on from that, make sure that you've got your driving license with you. Whether you've got, like I have one of these, a driving license with your picture on it, or whether you've got an old-fashioned paper license, it doesn't matter, just carry it with you. With your driving license, of course, make sure it is in date. The picture licenses, obviously ID card ones, now have a 10-year lifespan, whereas the old paper ones last forever. So just make sure that if you've got a picture card, then that is within date and hasn't expired, because you'll need to pay the 10 quid or whatever it is to get a renewal if not, and leave yourself a bit of time to do that as well. Okay, looking after number one, you need a GHIC or an EHIC card. So if you do happen to come off your bike and require some hospital or medical assistance, they'll ask you for your general health insurance card, sorry, your global health insurance card or your European health insurance card. That you need to keep on your person, because that will determine whether or not they're going to treat you. So yeah, just if you haven't got one, apply and get one well before you travel. Obviously if you travel overseas a lot and to all corners of the world, then get yourself a GHIC card. But if you're only, if you're the sort of person that only travels to Europe, then a European health insurance card does exactly the same, just only across Europe, obviously. Next up is a travel money card. So I use a Travelex card, but you can use a Monzo, Revolut. There's plenty of companies out there that you can get a card that you can load up with some money and convert it to euros. I would suggest using that because a lot of the petrol stations, a lot of the petrol pumps are unmanned across Europe, and certainly in France what tends to happen is you put your card in, you pick the pump up, and if it's a bank card you instantly get debited like 100 euros, and then you'll take the amount of fuel you need, get a receipt, and a few days later, maybe 4 or 5 days later, the balance will be refunded to you. Now that's all well and good, but obviously a Lambretta or Vespa fuel tank is pretty blimmin' tiny, so you're going to be filling up on a regular basis, and you can't really, well, the average person can't really afford to have €100 debited from their account every time they use their bank card to fill up with fuel. So having one of these cards means that if you go to the pump, because it's not your bank card, it can only debit the amount of fuel you take, or the value of the amount of fuel you take. So it works like your debit card works in the UK. So it's a great little tip. It costs no money. You might as well just get one, sort yourself out, and make sure that you're not temporarily draining your bank account by using a bank card and having €100 deducted every time you fill up. Now those documents you want to keep in something that's at least a little bit waterproof. So I've got this little concessionaire's bag that I keep my stuff in, and then tuck it away in my pocket, and you know, it keeps it from turning to mush if you happen to get caught in a downpour while you're riding along. Moving on, your helmet needs to have reflective stickers. So it would be 2 down here, 2 up here, and 1 either side on the back around here. I go on Amazon, and again I'll put a few links to bits and pieces. I'm on the Amazon affiliates program, so just for full disclosure, if you happen to click on one of those links, I might earn a penny or two. But anyway, either way, you can just look it up for yourself. This is just information for you to use. I bought a pile of these stickers for a few pounds, a couple of pounds. And while we're sitting on the boat, I just mentioned it. Surprising how many people hadn't even looked into that. So I just dished them out around everybody, and then everybody's sorted, and you know, okay if they happen to get pulled over. Okay, for us bins wearers, carry a spare pair of spectacles with you. It's a requirement. Strange, but when you read through the whole list of things. So if you are a glasses wearer, you do need to carry a spare set in your toolbox. So just make sure you've got them. All motorcycles need to be fitted with a rear view mirror. So this is a sort of a stadium style clamp-on mirror. It's the easiest solution. It has to be on the left hand side of the bike because obviously you're riding on that side of the road. So this just clamps onto the left hand side of your bike, onto your leg shields, and that's it. That means that you've got a rear view mirror, and the police will be happy with that if they stop you. And just bear in mind that if you've got an outboard disc and a master cylinder on your handlebars and you've screwed a mirror into that socket, that's not going to work for you because that will be on the right hand side of the bike. So you're still going to need one of these on the left hand side. Moving along, spare bulbs. So it's really important that you carry spare bulbs with you. I've just got a little pot with headlight bulbs, tail light bulbs. That's pretty much it, to be honest, because I don't have indicators on the scooter. And that I just keep in my toolbox. If I happen to blow a bulb, yes, I've got a spare. But if I happen to get stopped because a bulb's blown and I haven't spotted it, then, you know, if you haven't got a spare bulb, there is a slim but still a chance that the police can impound your bike, and that will take hours to get back. By the time you've gone off and found a bulb and then gone to wherever it is they've impounded your bike to, you know, that's probably going to take up half your day. So just carry some spare bulbs with you. Okay, next up, boring but mandatory, your high-vis jacket. You don't have to wear it all the time, but I would advise you do. Bottom line is, if it makes drivers see you a little bit clearer, then why not just wear it? But the important thing is that if you are stopped at the side of the road, if you're helping someone else fix their bike, or if you're stopping to fill up with fuel because you haven't quite made it to the petrol station, then you need to be wearing the high vis all the time you're on the side of the road. If you want to make it look really cool, you can do what we've done and add your Scooter Club logo to the back, and then hey presto, it becomes a very cool item. Next, not forgetting that you need to have a UK sticker on the rear of your bike. Yeah, I mean, you need one like this, just sat on the back of your mud flap or strapped to the back of your rear rack, or just stuck on the side panel if you've got a side panel like a Vespa side panel, or something where you've got a little bit of flat surface that, you know, people behind can actually see the sticker. I think it's fine if you've got a UK like bar down the side of your number plate, but most of us ride classic old bikes and don't have registration plates like that, so a sticker is important. Don't think you can get away with a GB sticker because they are no longer recognised overseas. Since Brexit, it's been a UK sticker, not a GB sticker anymore. Okay, that's all the mandatory kind of stuff, but then, you know, I'll come back to the couple of bits of kit that I always have on my bike because they just make life that much easier and avoid you picking up unnecessary fines, etc. So the first one is this, my Cyc Plus GPS Speedo. Very small, very compact. The great thing about this is that you can change it to kilometers per hour, so you can keep within the speed limits overseas, but also you can set a trip meter on it, and then, or a tripometer, and then you can easily judge how long until you need to fill up with fuel again, and it'll help you, you know, lessen the risk of running out of fuel between petrol stations. And saving best till last, my little Beeline Moto sat nav. I love this little baby. It is so small, so compact. You know, it enables you to get to your destination if you happen to break down and the rest of the group don't spot that you've broken down and leave you behind. It doesn't take up the space that some of these great big sat navs take up on a scooter, so it doesn't detract from the beautiful lines of the bike. The other thing I love about this is that the battery life is really long, so it'll do you all day, and then you can just recharge it overnight once you're at your hotel or accommodation, and it's ready for the next day. It's very easy to remove from the bike. If you stop for a coffee, it's literally just twist, off it comes, drop it in your pocket, and you know, off you go for your coffee. Okay, so the one thing that I haven't been able to locate, which is probably the most important thing to carry with you, is a first aid kit. Where mine is at the moment, I don't know. I'm going to have to turn the place upside down to locate it. But what I would say is, although I can't show you one, it's just so important that you carry a first aid kit with you. You just never know when you might need it. So if everybody's got one, then between you, if you're travelling in a group, then there's plenty of stuff there that will get you through an emergency or even just a minor thing. You know, it might be that you've stopped and you're changing a bolt over or tightening something up and your hand slips and you get a little cut. Well, you know, you're going to want to clean that up. You're going to want to get a plaster on it or a little bandage on it so it doesn't go septic inside your glove. You know, whatever. I don't know. It's just really, really important to carry it with you. So, you know, please don't disregard the fact that a first aid kit is just such a critical piece of what you carry with you. And I know space is at a premium, but just make room for a first aid kit. So I know you're going to be screaming at the camera if you're an experienced rider travelling abroad and saying, "You muppet, you've forgotten this." Well, yeah, that's what the comments below are for. Tell me what I've forgotten, because you might be doing me a favour and I'll include it in my pack going forward. So yeah, please just tell me. But in essence, that's what I've always carried with me whenever I've travelled abroad, and it's got me through, yeah, pretty much every time that I've been stopped by the gendarme or the police. It's got me through all the questions that they regularly want to ask, and then I've been allowed to carry on my way. I hope you found that a bit interesting, a little bit useful. Hope you got some tips out of there, perhaps one or two things that you've not considered when you've ridden abroad before. And until next time, ride safe.